I'm going throwing.
I'm going throwing.
Not till this afternoon.
I get to throw.
I think it's good that we're doing the factory tour first.
In 300 yards, turn right.
Can we make it a left?
A slight right has to mean where he is. Oh, there we go. All right. So slight right is up there. Because it says
In
Wedgwood.
500 yards, turn left.
Visitor Center.
We are off on a grand day throwing at the World of Wedgwood. Well, all sorts. Anyways, so it was rather a sublime day. We started with breakfast at the Upper House, which I told you about the house yesterday, and then we were off about 10 minutes down the road to the World of Wedgwood. Did you see that breakfast? Anyway, after a bit of confusion, I came downstairs just with my camera and the car keys, I would say, and I wondered why the boot of the car was open, only to discover that we were in fact only staying one night at the Upper House instead of two. I thought we were staying 2 nights, so I had stuff absolutely everywhere in my room. So I very quickly packed everything down, ran downstairs and loaded the car because it was about 10:40 and we had to get there for 11:15, 11:30, something like that, and it was quite the whirlwind. I'm still not sure if I've packed everything, but we will find out eventually. On to a history of Wedgwood. Josiah Wedgwood, he founded Wedgwood in 1759. He came from an established family of potters and trained with his eldest brother. He was pulled out of school at just 9 years old to start working at the potteries, doing many of the tasks that no one else was really keen on doing before starting his apprenticeship later on. Eventually, he was in partnership with the leading potter of that pottery called Thomas Wealden from 1754 to 759, when a new green ceramic glaze he had developed encouraged him to start a new business of his own. Therefore, on May 1st of 1759, Wedgwood was founded. Relatives leased him Ivy House, and his marriage to Sarah Wedgwood, a very distant cousin, with a sizable dowry, helped him launch his new venture. He led extensive and systematic experiments of glaze testing and development that led to the creation of his creamware in 1765, a fine glazed stoneware, which was the main body used for tablewares thereafter. He developed it to be a very cream color to look like porcelain, but it was a much more stable body. Anyways, we'll get into a bit more later. Charlotte issued a command that she wanted a new tea set. And she issued this command to the potters, and Josiah, being new to the game, took the challenge on. All of the more experienced potters turned the chance down. Oh, I have no idea where the lines are, and I'm trying to park the car. Don't judge me, it's hilarious, just watch. Anyways, sorry. So Josiah, being new pottered to the game, took the chance and tried to make a set for Queen Charlotte. Her request was that it be of a white color with green leaves and pink flowers, but the location of the tea service is currently unknown. Buckingham Palace seems to have relocated it. Wedgwood did ask if they could find it, and Buckingham Palace has had a look and hasn't seen it. Josiah developed many other industrial innovations for his company, most notable a way of measuring kiln temperatures accurately. So at Wedgwood, they don't actually use cones, just Wedgwood degrees. The thermometer he created is on display, and he also developed dry body stonewares, black basalt, caneware, and jasperware, all designed to be sold unglazed like biscuit porcelain. In his pursuit to perfect his colors for jasperware, and this is quite a bit later on, he developed between 3,000 and 5,000 test tiles, and there's a cabinet of all of his test tiles. creamware, which he asked the Queen if he could call queenware afterwards, and she granted him. So all of Josiah Wedgwood's creamware is known as queenware. Oh yes, back to his textiles. So each textile is labeled with the location it was in the kiln and what colors he mixed together to get that textile. Here's some textiles of his creamware. Once he got it perfected, today only about 3 people know the secret color mixtures to get the Jasperware colors perfect, and they have to sign an NDA, meaning they won't tell anyone what the magic mixture is. Here we go. And in 1766, Wedgwood bought a large Staffordshire estate, which he renamed Etruria, as both a home and factory site. This factory was producing from 1769 and was mostly making ornamental wares, while tablewares were still made in Burson. In 1769, Wedgwood established a partnership with Thomas Bentley, who soon moved to London and ran operations there. Only ornamental wares were marked Wedgwood and Bentley, and there was extensive correspondence between the two. Bentley died in 1780, and Wedgwood felt the loss. On to William Greatpatch. He was a fine modeler of molds for tablewares, and after 20 years, his firm went under, and by 1786, he was employed by Wedgwood, and he retired in 1807. This is the factory in Etruria, and this is a machine Josiah invented, which I'll talk about later. It's like a notching machine. Oh, and that was my lunch. Excuse me. Wedgwood early on adapted the English invention of transfer printing. Hand painting was often combined with transfers onto Jasperware. Wedgwood is best known for his Jasperware created to look like ancient Roman cameo glass, imitating cameo gems. The most popular Jasperware color has always been Wedgwood blue, to which he attributed between the 3,000 and 5,000 textiles, as I mentioned. And the main Jasperware motifs and other dry body stonewares were decorative designs that were highly influenced by the ancient cultures that were being rediscovered at the time. We did go on a full tour of the factory, but we're only allowed to take pictures in the museum portion. Wedgwood, after the death of Bentley, and the retirement of Josiah in 1709, passing in 1795, lost some momentum. The Napoleonic Wars made exporting to Europe impossible and left things in disarray. His family, who the factory was left to, sorted out some of the financial troubles, and by 1859, the factory had 445 employees, as well as updated versions of the wares from the previous century. Bathroom ceramics, such as sinks and things, were important in recent decades, and they did introduce porcelain and lusterware by 1810. Josiah Wedgwood's first decades of success came from producing wares that looked very much like porcelain, so that would be his creamware or queensware, and it wasn't quite as tough or as translucent as porcelain, but it was much more accessible, and I believe it was lighter to ship as well, so it cut down on shipping costs. Josiah was also known for his innovations of tools. He invented a waggling tool to use in a sprig mold, and these are passed down generation to generation. You can't buy a waggling tool. I was hoping I could get one, but you can't. I just have to become a potter at Wedgwood for a few years and then get one, so we'll work on that. Along with a machine that he invented, which you did see earlier, where he takes a vessel, and it's a thrown vessel, dips it in colored slip, and then puts it on this carving tool, and the tool rotates the pot, and the gears are moved, and in moving the gears, it shaves off the top layer of slip, therefore creating the striped pattern that he has. And engineers have been brought in to try and improve upon this machine that Josiah invented, and they haven't figured out how to improve upon it, and they also haven't really figured out how to modernize it. They've basically said, this is pretty fantastic and you can't do much better than this, so leave it as it is. So they still to this day use something that Josiah developed in his early days, which is amazing. And it is still treadle powered, so you do have to know how to be coordinated enough to run it with your foot. It is cool. The machine, so yeah, it's still in use today. They don't have it running on electricity, and then it still carves just the way as Josiah invented it. I got really excited about this machine. I really did. So in trying to cut down on pollution and leave the coal smoke filled Uturia, the works for Wedgwood were moved to Barlaston, Staffordshire between 1938 and 1940, which is where we find it today. And after our tour of the museum and the factory, we headed to the cafe for lunch. I had a sensible lunch, as you saw, of a sticky toffee pudding sundae. And then we had a 3-hour throwing lesson at Wedgwood where we got to practice making some pots that we then had to cut in half. Jade cut mine in half for me, which was very nice of her, and I'm glad she did it, as I can't bring myself or bear to cut a pot in half. So I'm very, very grateful that she was brave enough to cut them in half for me. And my bottoms are still thin. In Calgary they've been thin, and they were a little bit thin at Wedgwood, so must improve on making thicker bottomed pots, because I can always trim them. I also, as you saw, threw a donut here today at Wedgwood. I'm so pleased with myself for throwing a donut on a foreign wheel in foreign clay, as something I have never done before. And we did cut that one in half because I haven't chosen it as one of my 2 pots to get shipped home to Canada in about 7 weeks. And these were thrown in Jasperware, so we have no idea what colors they'll be because of course it's reclaimed, but it was a lot of fun. It truly was a lot of fun. We finished the day at the Beely Inn. Look at the Beely Inn, isn't it nice? And we had an amazing dinner. I had fish and chips. You should take a look at fish and chips. They're coming up. Just enjoy the Beely Inn. And it's honestly the best fish and chips I think I've had on the trip so far. So congrats, Beely Inn. Everyone go have fish and chips at the Beely Inn. And then we decided to go for a bit of a walk, and I somewhat fell over in a churchyard, so that was fun. I really got to stop doing that. It was funny though, it really was funny. And then it was time for bed, so I will bid you all good night, and I will see you tomorrow. Toodaloo.
Hi.